Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third episode of Choose Pinas. OMG, we're on episode number 3, and I think it's going to be an amazing episode up ahead. My name is Mandy.
My name is Emil.
And yeah, welcome to Choose Pinas once again. And today we are going to be having a very special guest. You know, last week we talked to DJ John Robinson, and he gave us a good bird's eye view of the, what do you call this? The party landscape of the Philippines compared to other places around the world. And today we're going to get to take a view at the sports landscape. Here,
That's right.
yeah, and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our guest today. He is a British Filipino international footballer. None other than Mr. Simon Greatwich.
Hello.
Hi, Simon. It's nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you great. We can hear you just fine.
Oh, you guys have got full-on headphones and mics and everything.
Yeah.
Match outfits.
It's kind of our setup for work from home, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and welcome to Choose Pinas. It's so nice to have you here. I've heard from Emil that you're not really that fond of interviews, but you gave us this chance. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's just in private with friends and family. I couldn't care less. I'm a bit of an idiot. I'm a little bit wild and crazy.
We love idiots. We love idiots.
But
Lovely.
just for some reason, publicly, and it depends who the hosts are. Like, I think you bounce off the hosts a lot. So I've been on some shows where they're all wacky and it's cool. You can vibe with them, and other times it's just like they're dead. Like I'm not the one to create the vibe, so within reason. But yeah, anyway, I'm here. So
Thank you for joining the show tonight.
So tell us about yourself. How have you been, man? How have you been?
I think I'm one of the very few people who's kind of not really been too affected by the pandemic, like for various reasons, whether it's
Lovely.
Either mentally and everyone feeling a bit down and upset about it all, or financially, it's just not nice. A lot of people are losing their jobs and things like that. And I think I'm in a privileged or blessed position that I've been okay. I've actually enjoyed the break at the start of the pandemic, and then as life's moved on, I decided, you know what, I'm going to hustle again and keep myself busy essentially.
Yeah, that's good. That's great to hear. And people can get inspired from you with that.
Yeah, a lot of friends are not so much some family, but more, some friends have just been like, they're either not quite depressed, but just to have some anxiety as what's been quite common during this period, or just people I know lose their jobs or salary cuts and things like that. So it's a very tough time, but we are where we are, and hopefully, well, who knows when life will go back to
normal.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, it definitely is a hard time for everybody, but we are happy to hear that not everybody is having challenges. So what keeps you busy?
Good. You guys are good?
Yes. So far, I cannot complain. I have Mandy always with me. I mean, the show, so I cannot complain.
Same. I've been pretty feeling, still blessed and positive despite everything that we're going through. So it's good to hear that one of our guests is actually feeling okay and feeling fine.
I don't know if that's common amongst other guests you've had, or everyone's just a bit like, I'm miserable, I'm losing a lot of money.
Well, not really miserable. I couldn't really say that they're miserable. Emil's not miserable. He's our first guest. So, but they've been greatly affected, but they're coping and they're doing things to make the world better. And I heard that you're also doing the same thing. But let's get to know you a little bit more. Emil here is going to ask you some questions. I hope that you could answer them honestly and bravely.
First we go into the actual question. I want to ask you, what keeps you busy right now? I mean, knowing that you look so fresh, you look so happy. So what makes you happy?
I had a photo shoot earlier, so I'm actually transitioning into I kind of like your line of business as such. I'd say I don't like interviews, but actually I'm about to start a new project this month with a pretty large media company, and I'll actually have my own column, online column. So I had a photo shoot for that today. So I shaved and tried to look I'm honestly I think I'm awful behind the camera. I'm not very photogenic at all. And we discovered today with a photographer that I don't know why, I'm just not comfortable with it. And we discovered that if I look away, like not directly at the camera, it seems to be a bit better. And that sounds a bit weird, but yeah, so that was today. Had a photo shoot this morning with them to launch that project. But overall, what's been keeping me busy is mainly the academy. So my football academy.
Lovely.
Obviously, no kids can go out and train right now. So despite us preparing for 2020, we had all our fields booked for the whole year. We had all the tournaments that we were going to enter into, all of our sponsors, everyone was set, parents, kids, coaches, and everything was going crazy. We just opened up some new venues. We just partnered with some new schools. So as Emil knows, I work with Chinese school, I have my own academy, and we were literally about to go into ISN. So and then lockdown happened. So it's very disappointing. So what we ended up doing is transitioning to the whole online platforms. I had no idea what Zoom was until 6 months ago, never even heard of it. And it was actually, in fairness, in credit to my coaches, it was actually Nate Berkey, my former national team teammate, who also coaches with us. And he was showing me this app, and he was talking about Zoom, and he said, let's try it. And honestly, I was not comfortable to do it. I'm quite a confident person, but I was like, I don't want to be on a camera at home in my living room or dining area performing football drills and workout drills. I just didn't think I would like it. So I said, go, if you want to try it, you go ahead. So for about 5 or 6 weeks, we were offering it to our players and our families for free. And they loved it. The response was overwhelming. It got to a point where it's like, right, I'm going to keep paying my staff to do these things, but then there's no money coming in, essentially. So by the end of that 6 weeks, I decided, you know what, because we all thought we were going to go back after a month, or was that just me?
Yeah.
So we switched to online, and every month now we probably get, I've lost track, but roughly around 80 kids consistently, 80 to 100 kids every month. And then we get about parents last month, about 50 to 60, I would say. We then opened up to parents because they're stuck at home as well. So I was like, right. Initially, it was a fundraiser for our coaches who couldn't work the Zoom because they didn't have good enough internet or they were overweight. Let's be honest. Some weren't physically capable. Let's not name names. Emil's probably seen some of them around. No, but it was more their internet connection. But so I wanted to help them as well. And I'll be honest, and it's a very sad part, was that one of our former coaches passed away during the lockdown.
Yeah, we heard.
So sorry to hear that, man.
Thank you. So that was difficult to take and to see. And I realised it's like, I used to play with him, against him, he coached for us, and he wasn't with us anymore with the academy, not that it makes that better, but I also thought that if that happened under my watch to one of my staff, for whatever reason, they weren't getting the food they needed to survive, essentially, or the financial support. So I did a fundraiser, and no need to say the amount, but it was 6 figures that the parents contributed. So in return for that, I'm not just going to steal their money and us coaches start drinking or whatnot. So I decided that in return, we would do the adult HIIT session. So I was like, right, it's a donation, and us coaches will lead a HIIT session. I've never done a HIIT session in my life. It's really tough. So the parents became active like that. So it's been really good. We're on our 2nd month now. Everyone's motivated. I'm shocked and surprised. So it's been really good, actually. I think that's why I've remained optimistic and happy and in a good mood, because the whole football community built around my academy has been incredible. It's unbelievable.
You have been busy, man, in the past 6 months. I mean, I say myself I'm busy, but with what you've created, Wow.
We do every day. The kids will train. I'm not pitching it here. This is just me being what we're doing. So the kids train 4 days a week football. We just added starting Tuesday a hit session for kids now because the adults were like, yeah. So the kids will do a 30-minute. We'll pound them. I led the session yesterday. It's the first time I've ever led a hit session, and I was blowing out of my arse. Like during the session, I was like, oh my God, I've made it way too difficult, but it's too late. I think the kids have more energy than us anyway, us adults. But
yeah, that's true.
And then yesterday evening, I've just hired a new female coach. Actually,
I saw it.
Yeah, so loads of the dads are now signing up. Like, yeah, I'll do adult hit. And Carla is her name, and she's an absolute beast. Like, I joined the session yesterday. I couldn't keep up. I'm really. Start of lockdown, I was a mess. I was like rice belly, like dad bod, and I slowly started to get my fitness back and whatnot. But yesterday, she killed us. So
wow.
You two promised me that should be you have to come and try one of her workouts next week.
It's a good thing that you're still here, though. Yeah. She didn't really kill you. She just made you stronger. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
I might have to cancel the Saturday session because my mat's still wet. I was dripping. It was disgusting. I was stopping. And then obviously you're on camera, and I'm like, obviously I used to play football. I don't anymore, but it's like people would expect me to keep up, and I was just like, I hope they have her on speaker view and I'm not on the gallery view because I'm resting now. My hands are on the floor, like I can't.
Lovely. So that's your present. Let's go a bit, backward. You used to be a very famous football player, one of my idol in the market, really? Right? Due to circumstances, we know that some club had to close, right? At that point, you had an opportunity that you could have played either for another team locally or go even abroad, right? If I'm not mistaken, your brother went abroad, right? Why did you decide to stay in the Philippines and create this, your academy, the G8? What brought you to decide that?
Well, whilst I was still playing, it was actually one of my good friends and actually sort of business partner in a few projects, American guy. He just said to me, you need to have multiple streams of income. So I'm far from an entrepreneur. I'm not very business savvy in my mind. And I dropped out of school anyway. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I didn't finish my education. But he was just like, yeah, you need to set up some other projects on the side. So I was doing some football coaching already with Moralco. Obviously, Emil was also part of that group. And it got down to it where it was like, I stopped working for Moralco for various reasons. Let's not go into that. But then I decided to set up a little bit later my own academy. So it's really ironic. I actually incorporated my own business because people were coming to me, like large corporations, to do team building events. And in my head, I was like, I probably shouldn't admit this. Hopefully they don't watch this. But what the hell do I know about team building events? Like, essentially, what they wanted to do was a sports aspect. So I was like, okay, I can do that. I can mess around. We can do some fun and games. And that's what gave birth to that business, actually, because they needed an official receipt. So I was like, right, I need to set up my own business. Because the first time I did it, I had to run it through my buddy's company. And that's not a good thing to do, really. Probably shouldn't admit that. Probably illegal. So I set up that business, and then I was like, right, one of the schools then, I was already working with Chinese school, and then another school, San Agustin, came to me to work with them. And it was at the same time, I probably started working with them in around October time, whatever year that was, 2017. And then by Christmas that year, one of my brothers lives in the States. So we went to spend Christmas there. And it was when it was around January time of 2018. We all just got messages on our phone basically saying Moralco's dissolving. We're just like, I was like, I've got like a 3-year contract. I was like, and my boss, in fairness to him, he tried, Randy, tried to reach out to me, but the time difference, he was in Europe, I was over there. We just kept missing each other. We were both busy. And it was a bit like, So not a lot phases me, actually. I wasn't like, I know some people were like falling apart. I was like, what would I do in my life now? Like, this is all I know. And I was dating a girl that time, and we were in LA together, and she was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just need to take action." So I started getting on my phone straight away. She's like, "Okay, I'll just let you be." I said, "Yeah." I started getting on my phone, messaging people, agents, my brother, other teams, being like, "I'm just going to move on and see what happens." And yeah, like you said, Emil, you know what? I actually ended up getting some really good offers. Like,
I'm sure.
Some in Thailand, some in India. And it was just like, do I really want to go and live in India? Like, yeah, there was some agents suggesting, offers that was more than I was getting here. But as I'd started to build the company here of the academy, I thought, you know what? Like, I flew back to the Philippines. We had the meeting with Meralco to sign our release papers or whatnot, our separation pay. And I was in the meeting, like, in a sort of a good mood, like just sort of music and a good mood. Everyone else was like, and then they were like, well, yes, they all wanted to still play. I said, I obviously still want to play, but I was like, enough's enough, to be honest. Like, everyone thinks that being a footballer is so glamorous, and no matter where you're on the world, I've got buddies that still play in England and Europe that earn a fortune. They still bitch and moan, so I don't know if that's to swear or not, but they still have complaints about the hierarchy, the organisation. And to be honest, as much as I loved the Philippine football, and it was so much fun, don't get me wrong, and I'm so grateful to everyone who sponsored or put in the money, but at the men's level, it was just a disaster, to be honest. So it was getting very frustrating, and I just thought, you know what, maybe now's the time to transition. It was kind of a bad time as well because of the transfer windows. If I was to sign, I literally would have had to sign in January to move abroad. So it's kind of like, I've got 2 to 3 weeks to completely change my life. I've done it before. I left New York in like 5 days, less than 5 days, to come to Manila, sold my life, jumped up and left.
Another YOLO guy.
Yeah, kind of.
Another YOLO guy.
Yeah. So that happened. I was just like, you know what? I never really said actually that I'm going to retire. I just quietly went about my business, didn't entertain the agents anymore, and just started the academy. And a week before we started the academy, oh wow, it was a summer program. I had about 7 kids signed up, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do here? Like, how can you? So I hustled, and then within the space of within the next week leading up, we had about 50 kids sign up, and by the end of the summer, we had like 100. So I was like, okay, great, this is going well, and yeah, it just kind of just fell into place, to be honest. And your
heart is in the Philippines.
Yeah, apparently so.
Right?
Apparently so. It's good to know.
So. I'm single, by the way.
Okay.
I guess this is a good place for you to find someone, or for someone to find you.
Nah, honestly, I'm happy being single to help continue building these sort of businesses that I'm doing right now and things like that. But yeah, for sure, my heart is definitely cemented here for now, at least.
Lovely. What do you like the most about the Philippines? Aside women, of course.
Yeah, lovely Filipino women for sure. It depends. I don't know if this is what I like about the Philippines. It just so happens that this is how it fell into place for me. It's just, when it was football, it was like, right, my job is to play football. I work for 2 hours a day, maybe 5 days a week, and that's it. And, you know, some of us got paid pretty generously for what we did. And it was an amazing lifestyle. So it just so happened we were in the sunshine, besides rainy season. Yeah. You're in the sunshine, you're out with your buddies. We're all just mates within the team, getting paid to work for 2 hours a day. And then even when I transitioned away from football, I decided, because of all the scheduling crap that used to go on, even my brother one time at Christmas, it was something like Christmas Day, and then they messaged him saying, your flight is tomorrow going to the Middle East for the Asian Cup. And I'm just like, are you guys fucking around or what? Like, this is the crap we had to deal with. Like, I remember even with Meralco, I don't want to talk crap about it, but the truth is, yeah, we'd be there. We'd be sat in our homes on like a Friday evening, and then they'd be like, we may or may not fly out at 5 o'clock in the morning. And we just
or may not.
It's just unbelievable the next day. So whatever reasons this was happening, I don't know. So I didn't see all the organisation side of things. But so creating my own job and being my own boss now is what I really like about it as well. So I don't know if that's the fact that I'm in the Philippines that I like that, because obviously technically you can do that anywhere in the world, but this is where I chose to do it, because although it's tough to start a business, I think the Philippines, you have so much opportunity here. And I think it does help. I'm not naive to oversee that, due to playing with the ASCALs, it opened up so many doors that, naturally opened up doors. I wasn't trying to be like, right, I'm going to become friends with him. He works for this company, or I meet this person. It's happened that later in life, I opened up my own academy, and I'm like, right, Jollibee, let's go. Javianas, let's go. Like all these corporations, I'm like, I have 0 kids. Will you support me? Yes, we will. Amazing. I'll have 500 kids in the space of a year. Done.
Woo!
You were, and you are still a legend, man. Even if you stop playing football, you know that.
Yeah, and I think
it would have been nice to carry on, but so to answer that last question, it's just I like to my own boss, have my own lifestyle, choose when I want to go to bed, choose if I want to go out for dinner, fly abroad for a couple of weeks and things like that. Like just being spontaneous. I remember last year, almost this time last year, Pacquiao was fighting in Vegas, and I was like, all my buddies went, and there's so many. I love boxing, and I especially love Manny, Pinoy Pride and all that. But so many fights that I missed because of our scheduling problems with the teams before. Like, you just couldn't get out. Even when it was the Mayweather fight, it was like, let us go, please let us. And then you just couldn't get out. So the last year, it was like a Sunday night, and everyone had booked. It was like 6 days to the fight. And these clowns, they added me to a chat group, and they were like, look, we're going to this club on this night. We're going to this restaurant. This is what's happening. Like, last chance. Are we adding you to the list? Done. Let's go. Booked my flight. Went to LA for 2 days. I literally flew next morning, and that's that. I can control that. So it was kind of like weird and random. Flew out on the Monday, flew back on the Sunday after, and I probably only missed 2 or 3 academy sessions, and I next to never miss an academy session. But the business got to a point where all the coaches were reliable, had a good admin staff, and it kind of was on autopilot. So the lifestyle is certainly a reason why I love it here.
Awesome.
Lovely. Mandy, you want to ask anything?
No. I forgot what I was.
Good?
Yeah, I was so, I was so hooked into what he was
Simon,
saying.
it's
I was so
much
in the zone, and I was actually feeling that. Like, I do miss that lifestyle. I wish there's some bar that we can go to and drink right now.
I can get the keys to my bar if you want.
Simon is everywhere. I mean, I work with Simon a lot in the past with the G8s, and I'm actually an on-call coach for G8 Academy, right, Simon?
Oh.
He says more than half the time. 90% of the time he says no. Too busy.
No, because you text me like at midnight for the morning. So.
Who does that?
Right? I think he got used to it from the past. But let's go a bit more on the Filipino. Few last questions before we let you go. What's your favorite Filipino dish?
That's everyone asks that question. Come on.
Yeah, we want to know.
We want to know. Okay, I'll change it.
I've literally just had some sinigang na hipon, and I still call her Yaya. My house help made it, but I love everything.
Everything.
Shanghai, pancit, sinigang,
balut.
Okay, so he must be the second person who says no.
Put me in a Filipino buffet, and I'll have about 5 plates. I'll destroy everything. Like, I love it. I literally, it's one of my favorite cuisines. So there's a few that I do really like.
Good to know.
And what would be your favorite place in the Philippines that you have visited so far?
For me, we make magic and memories in Boracay, like that place.
Boracay,
I've been to Boracay.
I'm banned. I'm banned by my wife from Boracay.
Okay.
I went there once with an ex and had an amazing time. I also went there once with a couple of buddies, and we was single at that point, and we went a bit wild and crazy. It was amazing. And we also went one time with like 5 or 6 teammates, and then some other friends on top of that. And oh my goodness, that was the time Mayweather fought Conor McGregor, And we went down to Boracay. All of us were just having a good time partying. And then we ended up watching that fight. And we still had some bottles left in that bar we were at from the night before. And we're like, well, let's just bring them out and give them to somebody because we're leaving anyway. We're flying out in the afternoon. Then during the fight, they never drank the bottles because I think it was morning. So you're not going to drink them? No. So we were like, let's just have a few drinks. Like, it was around lunchtime already. So we started drinking. And then it got to like 2 hours before our flight. And we were like, we should probably get going. And I was like, nah, I'm staying. So like, we ended up just staying. And ironically, I called the airline. I was like, look, we've missed our flight. Like, can we switch? They're like, yeah, you can be on the one in the next one. I was like, how much? I'm like, it's free. I'm not going to name the airline. But I'm like, what? We already missed our flight. And you're just going to put us up? Yeah. Great. We'll have another night in Boracay. But after that trip, we were destroyed. So yeah, Boracay's one. I really liked
All times.
Yeah, I'd probably say Boracay, Shargal, and Palawan, various areas of Palawan. I haven't been to El Nido yet,
I love El Nido.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've never been to Coron.
Quiet.
You have been.
I've never been to Coron.
Coron was lovely. The island hopping was paradise. Wow. So
nice.
yeah, but Boracay's top for sure. For sure.
Boracay. Yeah. But yeah, that was all time of Boracay. Le Boracay. Now I don't think.
Correct.
I guess it's really. Correct, yeah. Do you love beaches? Yeah, I guess it's the beaches that you go to mainly, right?
Yeah, well, even in Manila's magical. Like something's happening.
There's a Manila Bay.
But literally, like, even obviously pre-pandemic, you could. I mean, I'm a retired party boy. I admit I used to like a little bit too much alcohol, but even if you do go out and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, there's always still something to do. Even if you could just go and grab a bite to eat, or there's an after party, there's always something happening. Whereas where I'm from in England, it's like, right, bars close at 3, and then you sort of just go home. But there are still some places you go after hours, but here it's just everything's so close. I mean, I live in BGC, like, even just a stone's throw away from Makati, Poblacion, etc.
Mm-hmm. But we're pretty much near everywhere.
Yeah, correct. So
lovely.
Yeah,
nice. I'm so amazed of Simon because I don't know. I've been with this guy so much. We were supposed to go to Singapore together, but because of your football schedule, we weren't able to. Yeah. He sent me instead of. He sent me 1 week in Singapore with 50 kids, so you can imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So
it's a good thing that you're great with kids, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's even back then, like, we were building businesses back then, or building sort of the youth football community, and unfortunately I couldn't go, and I was like, Emil, you need to go, or else, like, it was just someone I trusted to go, and by all accounts, you guys had a wild time. So
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Not really best experience because you weren't there, but so far it was a good experience.
Paid holiday for you.
A holiday, yeah. Before we go, any message that you want to, to share to the audience or aspiring footballer in the Philippines? We know that football in the Philippines is growing. If you're looking back, 10 years from ago compared now, slowly it's growing. Right now we kind of have a more competitive. Any message to the young audience?
Yeah, so like you say there, I think within the youth of Philippine football, it's growing like ridiculous amount, like far more than I ever expected. Like, I think there's more I wouldn't say more kids because I can't, but from what I see just from going to the schools, the participation numbers in football is definitely pushing basketball or giving it a run for its money. So that's at the youth level. Wow. Unfortunately, at the adults level, I mean, I've lost track now. What you might know better than me. What's left? 5, 6 teams at the professional level.
Yeah, they're only few,
out of those, maybe 2 are left, like, paying, like, to be able to live. The rest are kind of just doing it because they love football. But essentially, you just never know. So before you could sort of inspire those young kids to be like, hey, you can make a living out of football in the Philippines. I mean, as the current climate right now, they still can, but it may not be in the Philippines. Like, there's so many players now from the Philippines going to Thailand or other countries in Southeast Asia to, be it a more stable league, or, fans are watching the games because, or it's pandemic now, but even pre-pandemic, no one's really watching. It's really sad to see. And that's why I stopped continuing, because I didn't see the the progression. So I wanted to start something new. But I think message to the kids would be, just enjoy it first and foremost. It's an amazing sport, whether you have a good ability or not. The camaraderie and the life skills that you'll get from it is something you don't get from the classroom. So yeah, growing up, I had my buddies in school, but then your school buddies were typically all your boys that played in the football team with you. So it's nice to have those the morals or togetherness from football, and just life lessons you can learn. If you have a good coach, it's important. Like, you could have a rubbish coach and not have a good experience.
Yeah.
But if you have a good coach, inspiring, can push you. And some of my staff in the academy, obviously I wouldn't hire them if they weren't good, but I've done incredible things with these kids. Like, I'm not taking full credit that coach or our academy's done that, but from feedback from the parents, you get kids that are shy, quiet, just not confident. And literally after a few months training with us, they come out of their shell because, just the interaction and things like that. And then some kids that I used to look at and I'm like, oh, they're not very good, but we'll train them to see if they get better. Mm-hmm. And some of them turn out to be incredible, like incredible, talented footballers. But not only that, so rewarding to see them personality-wise. We have one kid right now that sticks in my mind that's U11. He came to us at U9. He used to complain, I've got stomach problems, coach, can I come off? Like, really shy, average at football, used to make mistakes. Now he's probably one of the best in his team, in his age group. Even during the Zooms, he's an absolute monster. I make him train with our older kids, like 15, 16, 17 years old. But, his parents support him, which obviously helps. But he's just worked so hard that ability-wise, incredible. We even took him to Bangkok with us for an international trip. He's unbelievable. But his personality, now we're on Zooms, he's the first to log in. He'll start saying, hi, coach. He's the last to leave. Like, they're the stories that I like, where it's really improving both them as footballers and their personality and things like that. So you never know. Some of these kids, as they do progress through the ranks in the youth football, if it means their next step or their goal is to get into a college team, a UAAP, for example, or NCAA, then great. If that's what they want to do and we can help them in that stepping stone to get there, then
definitely
we've helped for sure. Or I'm also literally about to sign a partnership with a group where we'll offer scholarships for them to go to America. So it's at the point where I can see these kids are so talented, but their goal might not be to become a professional football player. So at least we're creating avenues for them. Do you want to go to college in the Philippines where you can get a scholarship through football or soccer? You can also now do it if you want to go abroad. So that's what we're going to give, just creating opportunities for them. And then if they do want to go pro or have the chance of going pro, then, we have decent connects in obviously in the Philippines and then some in Southeast Asia to try and help them along their way. But I mean, even Emil knows, you see people like William Valtos. He's now in Wake Forest.
I know. I used to train that child. I used to be the coach of that child. And now it's like...
You see those kids. I mean, he came to Singapore with us. So,
he did.
I don't think he was a starting player, but he's still in the roster of a Division One. And that's one of the comfortably top 10, if not top 5 schools in the States that you want to go to. So yeah, you see, and even other kids, Pena, Justin Pena has now gone to the States, Miguel de Mesa. These kids are being placed now abroad. William Winter's gone back to England, but placed. So yeah,
and I used to train all of them together with
That's
Simon.
amazing. You guys are amazing. This work that you do, I'm pretty sure that it's inspiring others.
Right. And even some of the kids then, they even ended up making it to the professional ranks in the Philippines. Like Nico Quintana played for Global last year. And I know football isn't where it was, but that's still a pretty respectable achievement for him to go from. I still think of these kids as these young, 13, 14-year-olds that we used to work with. And now they're playing with men. So, yeah, I just hope all the kids, we can continue to inspire them, whether it's as a coach or even sometimes a parent will ask me, can you just offer him some advice, whether it's life advice. I'm not sure I'm the right guy to go with, but I'm the best.
So it's safe to say that the youth development, football development skill, it's pretty strong in the Philippines.
It's so competitive. And I think that there's a lot of talent out there for sure.
Great.
Awesome. So we'd like you to please invite our viewers to like your pages or follow you in all your endeavors. Please go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. yeah, if anyone wants to try our online classes, whether it's for kids or adults, football or HIIT sessions, if the dads want to have a pretty female coach doing the workout on cam, then they're welcome to join.
Awesome.
So yeah, we are 4 times a week. They can follow us at G8 Academy on Facebook and Instagram, and Simon Greatwich is my social media handle.
Awesome.
If anyone wants a free trial, they can message us on the social media, and they're welcome to have a free trial so they can experience it.
All right. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you so much for the time that you gave us. And we hope and we wish you well for your future endeavors. Hope that we could reconnect with you anytime, any of these days. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Simon Greatwich. Please do follow him on his social media, G8 Academy, and at Simon Greatwich. I actually did my stalking a few minutes ago before we did the show. Also, thank you so much, everybody, for watching.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, mate.
My name is Mandy. Please follow me on Instagram. That's at Mandy Nocom. And Emil?
And my name is Emil. Follow me on Instagram. It's _Emiliano Romano.
Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.